Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLune 3-Pack Screen Protector Plus 3-Pack Camera Lens Protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Spain anti-tourism mob planning to occupy beaches again this summer. As Brits hit back over "do not come" letter. Spanish anti-tourism mobs have vowed to occupy beaches again this summer to keep Brits off the sand. The threat comes after Brits hit back against an open letter, telling them not to visit popular spots like Mallorca. Last year, raging protesters banded together to harass tourists and turn their summer breaks into misery. And this year, the raging zealots have promised to intensify the intimidation. They have already barricaded a beach in Ibiza with boulders. Pierre Joan is the spokesperson and organizer for many's Turisme Mais Vida, meaning less tourism, more life. He told the Mirror, "We hope to do the same and occupy the beaches in places that have a mass of tourists." Last year, MTMV massed together up to 40,000 people to stick it to the tourists. The campaigner said, "We are demanding from local government to put restrictions on outsiders buying housing. We want taxes on empty houses. We want control of illegal Airbnbs. One of our demands is to decrease the number of planes that come to Mallorca." They claimed that Brits are the source of their serious problems, damaging quality of life and fueling environmental degradation. Pierre explained why felt tourism was at the root of the issue. He said, "The demands of mass tourism mean the consumption of water, energy, food, and land, something which limits Mallorca. The other problem is the housing. The prices have increased so much. Many local people leave the city and go to some towns that are cheaper to live and rent." Several protest groups penned an open letter setting out their grievances. The letter read, "Enough, stay home, we do not need more tourists. In fact, you are the source of our problem. Do not come." It said the problems have been made worse by greed and avarice of hoteliers, politicians, real estate investors, and parasites of all kinds. But Brits have pushed back, pointing out that the local economy depends on income from the tourism that is being attacked. One Brit who has owned a holiday villa on Mallorca for over 30 years wrote to Mallorca Daily Bulletin, "It's sad British people are no longer welcome, even though over the years we've plowed a lot into the island's economy. The inhabitants there ought to stop and think what will happen to their economy when people like us stop going. What else do they have apart from sun, sand, and places to visit, i.e. a holiday resort? They need the economy from tourism to survive. So people from Mallorca, please stop and think before you alienate us." Somebody else promised they would continue to enjoy their annual holiday in Mallorca, but hoped their presence doesn't result in any confrontation. A third said they wouldn't want to return to Mallorca anyway, because it has gone downhill. They wrote, "I have no intention of ever returning to Mallorca. Been there, seen it, done it, got the t-shirt and video. It has become a money-making tourist trap, overpriced tat, overpriced food and drink, surly waiters, you name it." A wave of anti-tourist measures were implemented across Europe to curb mass tourism in popular holiday hotspots in summer 2024. Overcrowding has become the main problem in many sunny destinations, with authorities trying to find a solution to keep tourists and locals happy. Officials have attempted to reduce the impact of holidaymakers by implementing additional taxes on tourists or banning new hotels. In 2024, Venice became the first city in the world to charge an entry fee for holidaymakers after it started charging day trippers €5, £4, and 30 pence if visiting the historical Italian center. It was followed by an area in Barcelona, which resorted to removing a well-used bus route from Apple and Google Maps to stop crowds of tourists from using the bus. Meanwhile, San Sebastián in the north of Spain limited the maximum number of people on guided visits to 25 to avoid congestion, noise, nuisance, and overcrowding. The city has already banned the construction of new hotels. The Spanish government has allowed restaurants to charge customers more for sitting in the shade in Andalusia. Benidorm has introduced time restrictions, as swimming in the sea between midnight and 7 a.m. could cost a whopping £1,000. The Canary Islands are also considering adopting measures to regulate the number of visitors, and charge tourists a daily tax. Greece has already enforced a tourist tax during the high season, from March to October, with visitors expected to pay from €1.86 to €4 £3.45 per night, depending on the booked accommodation. Officials in Santiago de Compostela, in Galicia, want to introduce a fee for travelers to remind people to be courteous during their trips.